Russia has amassed more than 1,500 missiles in its arsenal, fueled by increased production and a temporary pause in massive strikes, according to RBC Ukraine media outlet, citing informed sources. Moscow is preparing for a renewed campaign targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure. The report highlights that Russia has accumulated a significant number of missiles with ranges exceeding 350 kilometers. Despite international sanctions, the pace of missile production has dramatically accelerated over the past year. While monthly production hovered around 115 to 130 strategic missiles last year, it now stands at approximately 170, according to RBC Ukraine. Russia has significantly ramped up the production of Iskander ballistic missiles compared to other types. As of November 20, it has stockpiled 350 Iskander-M missiles, with plans to produce an additional 70 units by the end of the month, according to the report. For cruise missiles on the Iskander platform, the November production target is 12 units, with a current stockpile of 210. The Caliber missile remains Russia's most abundant, with 390 units in storage as of November 20th, and a production goal of 30 units for the month. Meanwhile, production of Kh-101 missiles is projected at 50 units for November, adding to an existing stock of 220. Kinzhal, Dagger missiles are less numerous, with 70 units currently in stock and an additional 12 expected by month's end. Russia also reportedly possesses around 230 Kh-22 missiles, which are no longer in production. However, approximately 12 of these missiles undergo deep modernization each month, transforming them into updated Kh-32 models. Confirmation of Ukraine's claims can be seen in Russia's actions over the past few weeks. Moscow has significantly intensified combined strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure, employing drones, cruise missiles, and Iskander-M ballistic missiles in its operations. A prime example of the escalation these past few days' assault on Ukraine, during which Russia launched 7 Tu-95 MS strategic bombers. As RNC Ukraine reports, Russia's November 28 mass strike on Ukraine brought widespread destruction and disruption, with critical energy infrastructure targeted across multiple regions. The assault, launched with Tu-95 MS bombers firing cruise missiles and Caliber missiles from the Black Sea, caused explosions in Kyiv, Kharkiv, Odessa, and Sumy, among others. Power outages affected hundreds of thousands, with Volyn and Rivne oblasts among the hardest hit. Infrastructure damage in regions like Lviv, Odessa, and Sumy left homes destroyed, transportation paralyzed, and thousands without electricity or water. Emergency crews scrambled to restore services, while residents sought refuge in makeshift support centers. The stockpiling of over 500 advanced missiles by Russia, 200 Kh-101 cruise missiles and at least 300 Iskander-M ballistic missiles, raises significant concerns about Moscow's next strategic move. This accumulation, coupled with heightened missile production rates, suggests a deliberate preparation for prolonged, high-intensity operations. Analyzing this development points to several potential scenarios, all of which are troubling for Ukraine and could have broader implications for NATO and global security. One plausible next step for Russia involves an escalation in missile strikes targeting Ukraine's critical infrastructure. Over the past months, Moscow has demonstrated a clear strategy of systematically degrading Ukraine's energy grid and logistical networks, particularly as winter sets in. The sustained use of Kh-101 and caliber missiles, combined with Iskander-M's precision and destructive capabilities, could aim to plunge Ukraine into prolonged power outages, further straining its civilian population and undermining public morale. These weapons are well suited for such operations, with the Kh-101 offering long-range precision strikes and the Iskander-M capable of delivering devastating blows to heavily fortified targets. Beyond infrastructure attacks, there is a growing risk of Russia using these stockpiles to overwhelm Ukraine's air defense systems. Recent missile barrages have been designed to deplete Ukraine's defensive interceptors by pairing sophisticated missiles with waves of cheap, expendable drones. By leveraging the sheer volume of its stockpile, Russia could test the limits of Ukraine's defensive capabilities, potentially leaving key military and civilian assets vulnerable to follow-on strikes. Another potential vector is the use of Iskander-M missiles for tactical battlefield gains. As Ukraine's counter-offensives persist, Russian forces may deploy these missiles to disrupt logistics hubs, troop concentrations, or supply lines, aiming to stall advances or tip the balance in contested areas. The Iskander-M's maneuverability and ability to evade interception make it a critical asset in shaping the battlefield. Strategically, Russia may also be signaling a broader deterrence message. The accumulation of such an arsenal could serve as a warning to NATO and Western allies, signaling Moscow's readiness to escalate further if its geopolitical aims are not met. The scale of Russia's missile stockpile suggests that its strategy will not rely on isolated actions but rather on a prolonged and varied campaign designed to exhaust its adversaries and achieve strategic leverage.